Good morning, everyone. Saturday, October the 9th. Early morning picks here with Rob, Joe, and Brandon. And what we'll do first is we'll recap last week's picks. Brandon, we did a bit yesterday doing the recap. So we'll go through yours. You had Chargers, Houston, Carolina, Cleveland, and the Rams. Rams did not cover. Cleveland did. Carolina covered. Houston did not, and the Chargers did. So it looks like you went 3-2 last week.
Not bad, not bad. I thought I did a lot worse.
Rob went
I thought I did a
5
lot
for
worse.
5.
Oh,
So
Rob's a
Rob went 5 for 5 last week, and then me and Negro both went 4 for 5. So a good week pretty much for everybody. We're starting to get back on track. What we'll do here is we'll go through all the games, and we'll start it off with the Jets and the Falcons, who are the 9:30 a.m. game in London, England. And we have Atlanta by 2.5. Brandon, go ahead.
I'm going to go with the Jets here. I think the Jets are riding momentum. Rob Salah has them in a groove. Zach Wilson is, going to ride that momentum right into London town. If you were to look at Zach Wilson's face and age him about 80 years, he looks identical to the Queen of England. So I'm putting all my money on Zach Wilson and the Jets to cover.
Rob, you had the Jets too yesterday?
I didn't take them as mine. I didn't take them, but I do. I'm with Brandon. I do like them as well. First of all, before we get started, you can tell that the lines are starting to get better because it's getting much harder to pick these games, I find. So Calvin Ridley's out, as I believe you mentioned, Joe, yesterday. Massive sample size. Atlanta 0-1 as a favorite. So just not good in a favorite spot. And they also have a negative yard per play in every game, rush and pass. So I'm going to take the Jets here as well.
I believe they have 23 injuries too, the Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta does?
And injuries to their O-line as well. So I'm kind of staying away from that.
Kyle Pitts has one game over 51 yards. So he has 50 in 135, 31, 27, and 75. He's going to have to probably have 100 yards for this to even be a bit of a contest here. The Jets defense, I keep saying, I think it's a little bit better than people think it is, and their offense too. And Brandon, my point yesterday was just that last week, the Jets, when they beat Tennessee, which was one of my 5, I said that if you give Zach Wilson some kind of time, because Tennessee's defense and front seven is terrible, especially rushing the quarterback, he has some more time to make decisions. And Atlanta's, terrible defending. So I do like the Jets there as well. I'm pretty sure Igor liked them yesterday too, but I'll talk to him later about that one. Next game up on the slate, let's do the Saints and Washington. Rob, we'll go to you. Just recap. I know you did this game yesterday.
Yeah, I believe they were one of my picks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take New Orleans. Short road dog. Our favorite. Jesus, I'm off. Short road favorite. Deron Payne, Bostic, Allen, all on the injured list. Not sure if they're going to play. New Orleans off a tough loss. Washington off a big win. And big games coming up for Washington. KC, Denver, Green Bay. So I'm going to take New Orleans here in this spot.
Yeah, I'm taking New Orleans as well too. I saw this and they have to bounce back. Jameis had pretty much a blunder there against the Giants, so looking for them to bounce back and cover with the 2 points, win that game outright as well.
I'm going to go Washington. I'm going to take the points there with the home team. I know it's not too much, but I just think Washington is. We went over their wins. There haven't been too many good teams, but I think this is a game maybe where they get on track, and they need this win to kind of keep pace with that division because Dallas, we talked about it yesterday, Dallas will not lose. Let's go on to Brandon, your team, Cincinnati at home, 3-point dogs to Green Bay. Take it away.
Hey, these are my 2 favorite teams. These are my 2 favorite teams I've been supporting since I was a young kid. Don't know if it was because of Brett Favre or, of course, Aaron Rodgers. Big fan of Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow. But you have to go the Packers way. Okay, I'm going to take. I know they're playing in Cincinnati. It might be some rain in that game, but I just trust the run game of the Packers. I don't necessarily trust that the Cincinnati Bengals will come out and win that game. So I'm going to take Packers with the points of 3.
Rob,
that's tough. That's tough. Sorry.
I thought you were going to take Cincy here, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And a lot of the sharps are on Cincy. However, I'm going to go against them, and I'm going to go with Green Bay as well. I have a below average strength of schedule for Cincinnati, and they still don't have a ton of passing yards, even with against the marginal schedule. No Joe Mixon tomorrow, and Green Bay has better points per game, yards against, time of possession, red zone, penalty, and kicking. So better across the board. I'm gonna with barely swallowing any points to take Green Bay.
Absolutely.
I'm just looking at their offense and defense, just total yards. Surprisingly, both these teams usually, like over the years, have been pretty bad defenses and good offenses. This year, it's been flipped. Green Bay 24th in offense yards per game, Bengals 22nd. And then the defenses, Green Bay 5th giving up yards in the league, 323, and then Cincy at 7th. So this might be a low-scoring game. I know the total's at 50.5. I'm going to take the points with Cincy. To me, I talked about it yesterday. They were one of my picks in my 5. The line is a little bit suspicious. So I'm going to take the 3 points there. I think that Green Bay, if I'm making the line, probably a 4 or 5 point favorite in this one, regardless of Cincy's record. But we're going to find out if Cincy's for real this week. So I will go with Cincy. Next game, let's go. Tennessee is 4.5 point favorites going on the road to a team that they typically dominated, the Jags. Brandon.
Oh my goodness, this is a tough one, but I'm gonna go with the hands. All right, the hands of Urban Meyer, the fingers of Urban Meyer. I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars. Usually, teams rally behind themselves after something drastic or dramatic happens, and they said, "Hey, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, grind." Hey, I think they're coming to their own. I have to go against the boy Vrabel, but I'm going to take the Jaguars to kind of win this at home in Duval. I'm taking the Jaguars, man.
Okay. Is it because they gave you a scare last week with Cincy?
Yeah, they gave me a scare. Plus, they're due for something, right? Trevor Lawrence has never lost this much in his life. Marvin Jones, and they don't have DJ Shark, but Marvin Jones up there. Defense, Miles Jack is playing better. I say Derrick Henry will have a great game, but that defense, the secondary in Tennessee is one of the worst I've seen. How could you let Zach Wilson and Corey Davis do that to you last week? Unacceptable. So I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars and Urban Meyer. The fingers. I'm taking them.
You're breaking my heart. Rob, go ahead.
I'm with Brandon. That's one of my picks. Is one of my 5. I'll take Jacksonville. It's a bit of a whatever you bet on a bad team when you're playing with fire. But I'll take them as well. I have the under 9-2 in the last 11 meetings head to head, which means points are at a premium. Tennessee has a ton of injuries. We talked about the wide receivers. I believe you said AJ Brown is playing.
AJ will play. Julio's out.
Yeah, Julio's out. Tennessee's got Buffalo, KC, Indy upcoming, and 73% of the money is on Tennessee. So always a good spot to go with Jacksonville. If like Brandon said, if Zach Wilson's going to put up a ton of yards, Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback than Zach Wilson. So we'll see. This could be.
Are we sure about that?
Yeah, I'm. Yeah.
Even you, Rob, with his decision making, it's for me. It's tough. And like I usually don't take Tennessee. I'm going to take them here only because every time they play Jacksonville, because I watch most of the games and for at least those games, those two teams. Derrick Henry just runs all over them. He runs for like 200 yards every time he plays them. Jacksonville's defense has not got any better. It's not terrible, but it's also not great. I think that Tennessee's going to get up for this. They were embarrassed last week against the Jets, and I think this has to be a statement game for them, albeit against a terrible team in their division. And, we're going to get to it, but I have the Colts winning this week. They're going to need to win this game facing that division.
Have to. You're right.
They have to. And if you're losing to Jacksonville and the Jets, there's going to be some closed-door meetings. I don't think they can afford this loss. 4.5 point spread. I'm going to have to eat the points. I'll have a choice. I'll go with Tennessee. Next game on the slate, another division game. NFC North, Detroit, 10-point dogs going to Minnesota. Rob, you touched on it yesterday, so we'll go to you first.
Yeah, you're muted.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. I'm normally not a guy that swallows points, but I'm going to take the 10 points here with Minnesota. Detroit has a ton of injuries. The favorite 6-1. And the Lions are 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 with these two teams. Kirk Cousins really good at the 1:00 spot. I never bet on him in the non-1:00 spot, and the spread is so big that it is fishy. So I'm going to take Detroit or Minnesota.
So
it's fishy, and you're still taking it. Okay,
that's why.
Listen, I believe that the Vikings, last week just didn't get it going. They can score points. They can score points, and they have to. I feel for my boy Dan Campbell, and I know the Detroit Lions have played hard every single game they played, but they have a ton of injuries, as Rob just said. And I'm gonna take Kirk Cousins and the boys to put up, some points and actually try to smash them and blow them out of the water. It's at home as well too, so they have to have that crowd electric. I'm gonna take the Minnesota Vikings with the points.
Brandon said his boy Dan Campbell. I'm wondering, this is only because we're all scared of him because he's clearly down.
We
He's a
all
great
have to
interview.
say, we got to say something nice about him just in case he sees his podcast. He wants to tell us. That's why I got my assumed name here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Detroit. A few things. Division game, taking a large amount of points. And we talked about yesterday. Started off at 7.5. It's ballooned to 10. Detroit usually does pretty well in these spots against teams that like they're, that they have a big spread against. It's usually the teams like, I don't even know. I guess at home they've been terrible, surprisingly, for the past while. Even that San Fran game was a backdoor cover. I'm expecting them to maybe lose by a touchdown here. Minnesota hasn't shown me enough yet. I took them in the Survivor against Seattle. We all know what happened with Seattle now. But I'll stick with Detroit plus the 10. Let's go to the Steelers, Rob. Denver's taking on the Steelers. Denver right now is 1.5-point favorite. Two teams we're not really sure about, right? Like Denver, we're certain that their defense is legit. Teddy's concussed. I'm assuming he's going to play. Steelers really need to win this game. This is at 39.5. So I guess, even the books are expecting this to be very low scoring. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's because they didn't know if Teddy's going to play, but Teddy should play. I believe he's probable now.
Yeah, yes.
So yeah, I'm going to take Denver. They were embarrassed at home last week against Baltimore. They have a positive yard per play in 3 of the 4 games, and Pittsburgh has been negative in all 4. So below average team. Pittsburgh has had a tough schedule to this point, but the Broncos are 5-1 ATS last 6 against Pittsburgh. So I'm going to take I know Pittsburgh wants to win. I think Pittsburgh's really bad. And that defense against that bad O-line, it could be a tough day for Ben.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Ben, but, that's the reason. I think, Teddy Bridgewater got an independent doctor to approve him or let him play. But now the team doctors have to approve him, which they will. But I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have to get a win after going, now they're 1-4, 1-3. They have to win this game. All right. Hopefully, Ben can get it together. They're at home. It's 1.5. I'm going to say that they Najee Harris can play well. They have to win this game. If they don't win this game, the season's over. So I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers with the points right here.
The season is over, win or lose.
Well,
I don't think they're
exactly.
doing anything. And I think the season's going to be more over when they go to 1-4 today. And I sent that meme of Master Splinter and the boys. And I think that this is going to be another one where someone's going to have to put their arm over Big Ben and say, you know what, boy, it's time for you to hang up.
Time for you to go.
Teddy Bridgewater, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks so far. We know he doesn't really send the ball downfield too much, but those are good numbers. Big Ben, 4 interceptions, just 4 touchdowns. I thought about it, and yesterday when I was kind of glancing at the game, I was like, I think I should take the Steelers. Using logic or really using anything here, I don't see how the Steelers do it. Like, what has Big Ben shown us through these first 4 games that anything is going to change? He's been terrible all season. He's hobbled. He trips over his own feet. And we talk about it all the time, like Denver has one of the best defenses in the league, one of the best pass rushes in the league. Things aren't going to get easier for him. I think this is a low number because people don't want everybody really jumping on Denver. If the number was maybe, let's say 3, they'll take that. Everybody would take that for Denver. I'll go Denver minus the 1.5, which is essentially just winning the game. Moving on to the next one, let's go to Philly. So Philly is 3-point dogs going to Carolina. Philly competed last week against the Chiefs, did not cover, and then Carolina's coming off a bit of a tough loss against Dallas. Brandon.
Yeah, I think it's an easy choice. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are bad. Everyone does say that the Steelers are terrible. I think the Steelers are better than the Eagles. I think the Eagles are not a great team. I don't think Jalen Hurts is the guy. Sirianni makes questionable decisions. So for that saying, I trust Matt Rule more than I trust Nick Sirianni. So I'm taking the Carolina Panthers. They're going to bounce back in this game. They're at home. They play really well at home. They're undefeated at home at this point. So I'm going to take Carolina with the 3 points.
Rob?
I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina does cover, but I'm going to take Philly. I'm getting 3 points. Should be a close game. Philly actually has better yards per play this season. No Christian McCaffrey, which is a big loss for Carolina, obviously. And Philly was embarrassed last week at home. So, yeah, I expect them to bounce. I expect them to have a good game. I agree with you, Brandon. I don't think they're that good of a team, but I think they're going to have a good week this week.
Okay.
Another one I'm kind of tough for. Tough to make the pick there. Like Devontae Smith's a guy. I know he had the touchdown week 1, no TD since, leading with them. DJ Moore has been solid all year. McCaffrey's out. Whenever McCaffrey's out, I don't never feel too confident taking them. Brandon, you talked about the Canadian that they had, Chuba.
Chuba Hubbard, yeah.
He's pretty solid. And I've always liked Carolina's defense. I'm a big Matt Rule guy. I think last year maybe they've been overachieved. I like that hire. I believe he came from Baylor. I'm gonna take Philly here only because like the number scared me too. Like it was at 4, it's dropped to 3. Carolina's always really good at home. Like even when like they've been terrible, there was a few years where they were really bad. Minus those years, like they're always one of those really strong teams at home. I don't know. I'm not gonna put any money on this game, but if I have to pick it here, I'm gonna go Philly plus the 3. Next game, let's go to the Battle of Florida. The Dolphins taking on the Bucks, and the Bucks, they're 10-point favorites coming off a very strange win last week prime time when Brady went back to New England. Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a bounce back game for the Buccaneers, right? They have to kind of show. I'm surprised it's only at 10. I'm going to give them even more, but yeah, I'm going to take the Buccaneers for this. I think they need to it's a statement game. They have to, put everyone's expecting them to win. They're the biggest in survivor picks. Tom Brady, those guys are going to be dialed in. They're going to have to smash it. They're going to have to smash the Dolphins. And Dolphins are a lot worse without Tua. I thought they'd be better with Jacoby Brissett. They're a lot worse without him. Tua just makes them a competent team. They're not great. They're not experienced. Tampa Bay, 10 points. I'm taking that.
Rob.
It worries me, the inspiration for Tampa. Like, I don't know what incentive Tampa has to win this game in terms of winning by 10 and even winning. Like they got a big win last week. I'm going to take Tampa, even though I think a lot of the if you're betting sharps, it's on the Miami's the sharp play. I'm staying away from this game. I've been betting these teams too much recently, and they both let me down. So I'd have to pick between the two. So I'm just going to stay away. But Miami's been outrushed in every game this year. So not only are they struggling in the pass, they're struggling with the rush. Miami's 0-5 the last 5 against Tampa, and Miami, negative yards per play. So I'll take Tampa reluctantly here, but I would stay away from this game.
Yeah, we'll go through Miami's game so far. So week 1, they beat Miami by 1. They lost 35-0 to the Bills. We talked about this yesterday. A very rough cover if you took the Raiders because they ended up losing 31-28 against the Raiders. And then last week, we thought they were going to turn around against the Colts. It was a 1-point spread. They lost by 10. This one's tough. Like I said, incentive I don't really agree with because like Tampa at home is usually just blowing teams out of the water. But Miami has just looked like, I don't know, they've looked like a bottom level NFL team. If I'm not really looking at this game, I want to take Tampa minus the 10. A lot of money's on Tampa, and I'm going to go Miami plus the 10 on a backdoor cover because I think that their secondary is really beat up in Tampa, right? Like we've talked about it, like Sherman's playing. That says all you need to know. He hasn't played football in a long time. They brought him off the street to play. And I just think that, Brissett he has to have one decent game. I think that this might be the one. Probably not going to win. I hope for survivor reasons they end up winning, but I'm going to take Miami plus the 10 there. Next game, let's go to New England, coming off that tough loss that we just mentioned, going to Houston, and Houston just getting embarrassed by the Bills. So New England's an 8-point favorite. I'll give my pick first. I'm going to go with the New England Patriots. I had Houston yesterday, but I'm just looking at I need a favorite to go on the schedule. And I think that maybe we always talk about Belichick going against rookie quarterbacks. And the Notre Dame quarterback that they do have is not very good so far. And Houston's been a different team when Tyrod Taylor was there. He's going to be out for a while. I'll make it simple. Give me New England minus 8, Brendan.
Yeah, Stanford. Mills Mafia from Stanford. But, so once again, rookie quarterback. Houston Texans are the worst team in the league without Tyrod Taylor. They are, like, we have to – I mean, do we agree on that? They're the worst team on both sides of the ball, right? Can't get the ball downfield, can't run the ball. It's a travesty there. It's literally where players go to pretty much end their careers and pass away. So I'm taking the New England Patriots. I think Mac Jones showed some promise in that game, and now he's looking to continue that. He's hitting Hunter Henry. He's hitting, Kendrick Bourne. That defense is going to play. We'll talk about Gilmore later on. That's kind of a different discussion, but I'm going to take the Patriots. Easy, 8 points.
Yeah, I'm going to take Houston here, plus the 9, very surprisingly.
Home.
I don't I had him at 9. I don't know if it's down to 8 now, I guess, Joey.
It's at 8, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I just read that there's 4 O-linemen out for the Patriots, which might make me change my pick.
So, yeah, I was just about to say cluster injuries on the old line. Brown and Mason both out for sure. The over-under is 39, so points are at a premium this game. The home team is 10-2-1. head to head, and the Pats are 1-4 their last 6 in Houston. Houston was embarrassed last week, like you said, but also New
They're
England was,
embarrassed every week.
they are they should be used to it. But New England basically is coming off their Super Bowl, which I could see this being a letdown spot. However, the one thing is that Bill Belichick does eat rookie quarterbacks, which was the only thing that's scaring me about this game. So I think New England will win, but I don't think they're going to cover the 9 points. I'm taking 9. I put this down as 9. I'm taking 9.
Okay. Brandon, you had New England, right?
Yeah, I had New England. I'm going to take the favorite there.
Cluster injuries, though. And
let's go to my Super Bowl pick. I took the Rams earlier in the season, but as I mentioned the last podcast, I put in a very small bet on the Chargers to win the Super Bowl. So Chargers at home, -2.5 against the Browns. Browns coming off a 14-7 win at Mini. So another back-to-back week on the road going against a very good team and a very good quarterback. Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's a letdown spot for the Browns. Like, I think the Chargers are just for real. A lot of people are picking them for the Super Bowl or to make it. I think that's a major reach. I'm sorry. I think that's still a reach for the Chargers and the secondary quarterback. So you got to make reach 100%. But at home, probably be more Browns fans there than Chargers. This is their holiday season to go to LA. But I'm gonna take the Chargers the 2.5 points, simply because that defense, Derwin James playing amazing. Really well. Offense is clicking all cylinders. And to be honest, without Jarvis Landry, Cleveland Browns have not been able to put it together in the passing game. Baker Mayfield is having some struggles with Odell Beckham connecting there. Not really hitting his tight end either. So I'm going to take the Chargers, man. It's a tough defense, but I think they've gotten past some Giants. They're going to continue it. Chargers 2.5.
Yeah, I'll take the Chargers too. I don't like this week because I'm basically on all the square picks. A lot of people are in on the Chargers, which are very worrisome for me. But Cleveland's got their injury list is twice the size as the Chargers, especially on the O line. So I think they're missing. They could be missing up to 4 O linemen, which is
I think so.
Outrageous.
Cleveland is?
Cleveland, yes. Baker Mayfield does have that injured non-throwing shoulder, but who knows how he's going to be. And the spread's under 3. So I'm getting a home team under 3. Everybody jumping on the Chargers is scaring me a lot, especially for the futures and this week. But I'll still ride with the Chargers.
I guess it's tough because if that number is 3, I think you're going to get a lot more money on Cleveland to cover that spread. At 2.5, I think people are either staying away. Like I looked at it on the score app, it was 55% of the picks here on the Chargers, so it is a little bit closer here. Sorry, 52 for Cleveland I have on this one. So I think this game's pretty split down the middle. Brandon, you touched on it with Landry out, who's been one of my favorite guys since Miami, like a possession receiver. It's tough because Beckham, I keep saying it, when he's in there, Mayfield doesn't, he just hasn't been the same when he's not in there. And with their tight ends, I've been surprised too because Njoku's coming there off the injury and then Hooper as well. Like they have some decent tight ends, but they haven't really got their offense going. Last week against Minnesota, 14 points. I haven't looked back at their schedule, but their offense has not been what we thought it was going to be. I'm going to go with the Chargers because nobody's questioning their offense. Their D-line, their defense looked amazing last week against a really high-powered Raiders offense. I'll stick with the Chargers on the 2.5, and we'll move on to the next one. What we'll do is we'll go to the Raiders. We're coming off that loss at the Chargers. -5.5 at home to the Bears. Brandon.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I'm going back and forth.
It's Matt Nagy.
Yeah, I know it's Matt Nagy, but hey, they named Justin Fields a starter. He finally started thinking. And I still think it's going to be tough for a rookie quarterback on the road in a ruckus crowd, right? Still one of those inaugural seasons for the Las Vegas Raiders. It's tough. It's really tough. I really wanted to go with the Bears here, but I'm going to take the Raiders 5.5 points. I think they bounced back from last week's loss. I probably as a betting man should take the Bears, but I'm going to take the Raiders in the 5.5.
Chicago. I like Chicago here. I think this is a good spot for them. I think that a lot of people are still high on Vegas. And Rob talked about it when we were talking about how hot the Raiders were. He thought they were going to come back to earth. This might be one of those games. I think that Chicago, worst case, is going to cover. I know their offense, we talk about it all the time, hasn't been great. But maybe Fields lets it fly this week. Their weapons, I know their running back is going to be out for a bit. That does worry me. And their O-line is pretty suspect, but I'll take the point there. I'm getting 5.5. Rob.
I'm gonna go with Vegas as well, but I have 70% of the money on Vegas, which is very, very worrisome for me. It's just
public money the public money this week. It seems very strong on certain teams.
Yes, for sure. The Chicago is the worst offense in the league and by far the worst pass offense. So
For sure.
I just don't know how they're going to get points here. They both have division games coming up. Green Bay for Chicago and Denver for Oakland. So I wonder if this could be a look at spot for Oakland. I wouldn't be surprised if there was if Chicago did kind of squeak in here, but I'll just lean to the Raiders.
Yeah, I
All
would
right.
say it's not a look at the game because that defense is actually legit. Like Derek Carr and those guys can't overlook that defense. If the
That's
defense
what
was
I'm saying,
trash,
right? Like, yeah.
that's the only thing. That's the reason why I'm
I
kind of
can't see
heavy
the
on the
Raiders
Raiders.
putting up too many points against that defense because Chicago's defense has been great forever. All right, guys,
Yeah.
10 minutes. We're going to try and go through
Yeah,
the
10
next
minutes.
4 games.
Yeah.
San Fran, 5-point dogs. Trey Lance going to get the start against Arizona. Rob, we'll let you go first. This was one of your picks.
Yeah, San Fran +5. Arizona's off the huge win. 61% of the money's on Arizona. The dog is 5-1 in the last 6, and I think Kyle Shanahan is better as an underdog than he is a favorite in these spots. So a little worried about Trey Lance, but I will take the 5.5 points.
Brandon.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals with 5 points because I think George Kittle is still questionable. I believe, and they need that presence in the middle of the field. I just don't trust them and their defense. Right now, I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals, ride the hot hand. They got to get it done. Let's get it.
I have San Fran too. They're typically not a good favorite bet, but as a dog, I do like them in this division game. If Garoppolo was going, I feel maybe a little bit more confident. I like Trey Lance. I just don't know what to expect in his first start. We haven't seen too much of him, obviously. And Arizona, Chandler Jones, Watt, like they have some guys that can get at the quarterback. So I want to see how San Fran's O-line handles that. We'll move on to a big division game. So the Giants coming off a win, going to Dallas. Dallas, Robbie talked about yesterday, 4-0 against the spread. So Dallas 7-point favorite. We'll go to Brandon.
Yeah, this is my survivor pick as well too. I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys, riding with the boys. They're at home. They're on a roll right now. Playing against a team that's motivated, right? We saw Landon Collins saying, "We'll take the ball, F them." Yesterday, against the Saints, but it doesn't matter. I think that this is the game where the Saints actually do cover the 7 points. That they're better run game. I think that defense in New York is going to struggle a bit in that environment, and I think it's an easy pick. I think it's easy, but once again, I hope it doesn't. I hope the gambling gods do not fail me now. Taking Dallas for the 7 points.
Rob.
I love the Giants here. I think this number is way off. I think the spread should be I think I said yesterday 4 or 5. I think these teams are closer than we think. More positive yards per play than Dallas for the Giants. And whenever you play Dallas, there's a premium line. Like this line's inflated, being a public team. So they're 4-0 against the spread. Dallas, they've got to lose one of these. And so I'm going to take the Giants plus the 7.
I'm just worried because I'm just looking at my picks now. I went through all of them already so far. I have a lot of dogs. I like the Giants here. I'll stick with it. But I am worried that I have a lot of underdogs on this one. So I'll go Giants. Next game, just go back, give me a sec. And we'll go to the Sunday Nighter. We were talking about this one yesterday. So Bills, it started off as 2.5 for Kansas City. It's the Sunday Nighter. And Kansas City is now gone up to 3-point favorites. Brandon, we'll go to you first. Let's go.
Yeah, this is the game of the week, probably one of the games of the year, right? I'm just gonna ride with the Bills here. I think they have to. This is a statement game. This is their Super Bowl. Okay, this is their Super Bowl. It's gonna be a tough Ruckus crowd, but I think Josh Allen, that offense is pretty much grown. I think Zach Moss is gonna have a good game. Singletary's gonna have a good game. That defense is gonna come prepared. This is a spot where KC is a favorite. Have not done incredibly great this entire year, right? So I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills with the 3 points to win that game outright and to cover the points.
Rob.
I still have it as 2.5. It moved to 3, you're saying, Joe?
Yeah, it's 3.
Really? So whenever something moves on Saturday night, I believe that's the college football crowd that has basically been destroyed on Saturday, moving the line. Which means
you haven't been destroyed yet by Saturday because the college games are going to tip off in a few hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, right. So
yeah.
I'm way off here then. Okay, that's it's just weird that this spread is moving like that for KC. So yeah,
65% on the score is on the Bills.
Yeah, which is funny that KC is moving, which means that it's got to be sharp money moving it because public money wouldn't move it like that. So that means the sharps are on KC. I'm at 3 points. I'll take Buffalo. 2.5. I was indifferent, but At 3.5, I'll take, or 3, I'll take Buffalo. I don't really have much of a feel on this game. I see both sides. I don't like betting against KC. This could be a spot where they go crazy, but their O-line is so beat up, and you know the Buffalo defense could have a good day. So I'll go with Buffalo +3.
This is one of my 5 picks. I'm loving Kansas City in this spot. I just think we talked about it before. We know their defense is not great, Kansas City, and Buffalo's been, after that Week 1 loss to Pittsburgh, rolling on all cylinders. But I like Kansas City here. Brandon, you talked about it. We don't like them as a favorite. They pretty much just got to win this game. And we know that Arrowhead's going to be really wild on a Sunday night. This is a rematch of the AFC Championship game. Kansas City, I think, this is a spot where I like Mahomes. There's actually some pressure on them now because this is a game they have to win. Chargers are on their back. Raiders are doing well. Even Denver's been pretty good. They lose this game, they're going to lose control of that division big time.
Mm-hmm.
And they still have to run through the division, play everybody again. Coming off a loss to the Chargers, too. They won last week against Philly. But I'm going Kansas City here. And to be honest, I might hammer them. So I'll go Kansas City -3.
Wow.
Last game, Monday Nighter. Indy, it was 7.5-point dogs. It's now dropped to 7 at Baltimore. They've had some, wins where a lot of people didn't think they were going to win. The primetime game against Kansas City, and then also last week, there was the Detroit game where they won that Tucker field goal. It seems to me like they're running on fumes. Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me because I feel like the defense of the Indianapolis Colts are the strongest unit that they do have. But they won that game last week against Miami, but they're a bad team. Like, they're not a great team. They don't really put it together. They're not a great team. So, and with Carson Wentz, this is a tough one. I was leading the Colts earlier on, and then I changed my mind. I'm going to go Baltimore Ravens, even though I think that their run game is going to be kind of stopped a bit. But I think this is a time where Lamar Jackson's going to have to, navigate and throw the ball around, and I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens +7. Sorry, 7 points.
Yeah, by 7, yeah. Rob.
Yeah.
This is a really tough one for me too. I would probably lean Baltimore. Indy's had actually a really tough schedule. I was just looking at it, but I don't have faith in Carson Wentz right now. I'll take Baltimore -7, but I'm not going to play this game. This is it's a lot of points for this one. Yeah.
Yeah. They haven't really lit it up.
Yeah, that's why I like it. Like Indy, like just being a Titans fan, Indy always kind of gives me nightmares because they always beat the Titans, and their defense has always been pretty legit. And like I said, I think they're going to contain Baltimore. You got to have a plan going into this one. So you contain Lamar Jackson, make him throw the ball, make him beat you. And I think that this might be a spot where I love the cover. And to be honest, I think Indy's going to come out with the win because they're looking at Tennessee and they're saying, this is the guys we have to go against in this division. Let's go get this win, take control of the division there. So I'm going to go with Indy +7. Rob, you took Baltimore, right?
Reluctantly, yes.
Yeah, okay. And sorry, I just missed Rob. You took Buffalo there for the previous game. All right, so Brandon, that wraps it up. Give me your 5, and then I'll go through the rest.
It sounds good. I'm going to take a Green Bay, the points there as the favorite. I'm going to have Pittsburgh. I'm really relying heavily on Pittsburgh there. Tampa Bay. I got Tampa Bay. I got the Chargers as favorites. And this one was tough. I'm going to take Arizona. And I'm going to take, just to go against the grain.
5.
That's fine. Okay, that's my 5. Yeah. Okay, cool. I was getting
you got
a little
Green
bit
Bay
gunshot.
-3, Pittsburgh +1.5, Tampa -10, Arizona -5, and then the Chargers -2.5. So Rob's picks were Arizona. No, Rob, you took Arizona yesterday?
No.
I was going to say, I had you as Giants, Jacksonville, Mini, New Orleans. Maybe you didn't give me a 5th one. I don't have a 5th one written.
San Fran, the opposite.
Oh, my mistake. Yeah, crossed out San Fran. So you have San Fran, Giants, Jacksonville, Mini, New Orleans. Igor has Cincy, Giants, Carolina, Bills, New England. And then my 5 are Indy, KC, Jets, Cincy, Chargers.
Jets. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. No, I know the Jets. Yeah, I know. That's a bold one.
This is the spot I want to take them. Like the Jets winning 2 games in a row here. Atlanta's atrocious. It's going to be that game right there might seal the fate for the top pick in the NFL draft next year.
Yeah, you're right. I think that teams, when they're there and they're playing on Sunday, they watch a lot of soccer the day before. They forget to play football. Like that football game is an absolute mess all the time. So yeah, we'll see, man.
And I think the Jets have a lot more pressure than Atlanta because obviously the Jets fan base and everybody wants to see if Zach Wilson's for real. In Atlanta, we know there have been rumors that Matt Ryan might want out. Either that or they're forcing him out. But that'll wrap up this week. I know we got to get on with our Saturday mornings, and we'll revisit this on when we do the Tuesday recap show. Any last thoughts, guys?
No, I'm not much, man. It's gonna be. I hope everyone hits their bets. I hope I can bounce back and actually get into the lead again in our betting thing. And I hope Matthew Negri just gets fired.
You got to jump back. You gotta. Well, 3-2 is still a good week, but everybody else had a 4-1 or 5-0. So
yeah,
maybe we'll get together like we're talking about. We'll watch the one on the Sunday nighter. Guys, everybody making their bets. Good luck and enjoy week 5. Take care.